This is You've Already Been Hacked, recorded on
13 February 2026.
Welcome back to You've Already Been Hacked. It's February 13th, and for those out there that have, whether it be digital love or otherwise, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Cowboy, happy Valentine's Day to you and Mrs. Cowboy.
Thank you, and happy Valentine's Day to you, and Friday the 13th.
And yes, and a Friday the 13th. That's very true.
It's scary. Do we have scary cyber stories to share tonight?
Yes, well, we always do, right? Don't we? Let's get right into it. Our top story tonight, Microsoft fixes bugs behind one-click attacks. This February, Microsoft has released a patch that closes several critical vulnerabilities used by threat actors to launch one-click attacks. These attacks let attackers... Wow, that's a lot of attacks. These attacks let attackers inject malware or gain unauthorized access simply by tricking users into clicking a malicious link or opening a compromised attachment. The update specifically addresses flaws in the Windows 10 and 11 kernels, Office 365, and the Windows Defender exploit guard, preventing the exploitation of memory corruption corruption bugs that previously enabled remote code execution with zero user interaction. Wow, that's actually pretty terrible. This matters because the one-click attacks are notorious for bypassing traditional security controls and delivering ransomware or credential theft with minimal effort because we're doing it for them. It's an enterprise risk because organizations with large user bases are especially vulnerable. A single exploited link can spread malware across the entire network. And it's an industry trend. The prevalence of no-click and one-click exploits signals a shift in attackers' tactics, demanding tighter patch management and zero-trust verification of user actions. So, Cowboy, what should you be doing about this right now? Well, you should be immediately patching Windows 10 and 11 devices as well as your Office 365 installs. If you don't have MFA, get MFA on your network or on your devices. Educate your users because everybody's going to click open those links when it looks like it's from the boss. And deploy endpoint protection, ensuring that the latest versions of Microsoft Defender or comparable EDR solutions are in place and configured to block anomalous behavior. That's pretty terrible. That one, bypassing all the good stuff and infecting the most current kernels. I don't like. I don't like, Cowboy.
This as we try to make things simpler with the less clicks, right? All it does is speed up the hack process too. At least these are only 8.8s, 8.7.
Oh, why are we even talking about?
God, I mean, it's, patch when you want to. But you did mention ransomware, so I'm going to got some stats.
Please, stats.
It hit all-time high in 2023, just a couple years ago. At least 1,512 incidents with 1.1 billion with a B in payments out in following ransomware. That is, and when they disrupted two of the main ransomware groups, those figures actually declined in 2024 to only 1,476 incidents and down to 734 million in payments. So, good gravy. That is a lot. That is a lot of money in 1 year with a B. And it's, we talk about zero trust off and on, but again, some simple zero trust implementation can really limit the potential negative impact, even if users are tricked. So, again, just implement get the low-hanging fruit, right? You don't have to get the entire zero trust model in there, but get the relatively easy stuff that has big impact, right? Big safety impact.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, you should be doing MFA at this point for your own accounts. I can tell you that at least daily, multiple times per day at this point, my two primary personal accounts, which I've had for 2 plus maybe 3 decades at this point.
Yeah. Definitely on the dark web.
Oh, so many times. But I'm getting password reset requests constantly to both of those accounts. Now, I know I'm not attempting to reset the password on those accounts. And the only reason that those attacks are not being successful is because I have authenticators and MFA for each of those accounts. So I just say no every single time. And it's kind of it's kind of shocking just how much like it's really ramped up, I would say, in the last 6 months. But the fact that it now happens multiple times per day, someone who likes to knock on the door a lot. I don't know why they're not convinced, why they think they're going to get it at some point, because they've been doing it now long enough. I don't understand why, they it's got to be automated is what I'm thinking too, because it's just
Yeah, part
happening.
of a script,
It's
right?
yeah,
Just
it's got to be. It's got to be. It's happening too frequently. It's got to be. But yeah, I mean, again, that MFA is really what's saving my bacon on my accounts, because if it wasn't there, who knows, right? One wrong click at that point would really be a compromising scenario. So, uh, do the right thing for yourselves, folks. If your company won't do it for you.
right.
All right. Let's see. In our next story, I'm gonna get some of these probably pronounced very wrong, Cowboy. So bear with me.
This is a good one. Yeah.
CertiK rebuilds trust after the Huione related backlash. So, crypto security firm CertiK has rolled out a series of transparency measures to restore confidence following a scandal involving the Huione token. The company now publishes quarterly third-party audit reports, enhances its bug bounty program, and introduces a real-time dashboard for token performance and audit status. While CertIK remains non-committal about an IPO timeline, these steps aim to reestablish credibility among institutional investors and token holders. Um, this matters because the incident that happened has exposed gaps in verification processes for DeFi projects, shaking trust in the broader crypto ecosystem. If you are involved in cryptocurrencies at all, or have heard about them maybe just a little bit at this point in 2026, regulatory pressure has been increasing and has been providing more scrutiny from regulators, and is driving companies towards greater disclosure and third-party validation. There's a security culture in place, or it should be in place, that is publicly demonstrating audit rigor can set industry standards for transparency. So, if you're in DeFi, what could or should you be doing? Well, vet your third party audits, use multi source verifications, and advocate for transparency if your particular organization or the one you're interested in investing in is not being very transparent. Cowboy?
We were talking about transparency last week. Yeah, and I got you. I looked it up. It's Huione.
Who a
That's how
one?
you
Okay, thank you. See, I knew I wasn't going to get it right.
Huione. Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess their CEO has been coming out hard against all this. He's identified private key mismanagement, a lot of deep fake impersonations, which I thought was
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
there you go.
They're deep fake impersonations of him going like, "Oh, we're gonna IPO," and just a bunch of other,
It's too easy.
misinformation.
It's too easy now. I mean, it really is too easy. Forget just voice, right? Voice is super easy. You want to do a voice clone? I've shown Cowboy how to do that. I do that here in the
Hmm.
studio easily in seconds with zero shot recordings where they're 5 seconds long of us, and boom, done. Voice is out there. Now, there is a new uh video and audio. Like, you don't even need to use big models. Like, you could do this all anonymously. You don't even need to pay anymore. There's a video and synchronized audio model called LTX2 that will allow you to use an image, a single image, to then create a scripted response from that image with motion capture. And in what I have in the sock here, in the digital sock, I can make a very short video in 20 minutes without even really having much material to go with. It's pretty crazy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we had talked one time about doing one of our shows all through
Oh, I'm still
the
working on it.
captured and reproduced voice and see if anyone could pick up on it.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know, especially if, I'd love to do some of that and send it out to family members and just see if anyone can pick out the difference, because it's
It's frightening at this point.
worse. My my digital spouse, sent me a thing about somebody, same thing, talking about a deep fake voice call, right? It it was his wife, and she's like, "Oh, my, our son's hurt. I need 3 grand in cash right now." And his thing was like, "Cool, tell me our passphrase," or, which is always peaches or ostrich. But um he was like, "Let me hang up and call you back," because the number was spoofed and everything else. I mean, I didn't like the example a lot, because I'm like, well, why do you need 3 grand cash, right, to help your son? Like, that's not how hospitals work. And they would have to know, the attacker would have to know that, like, she wasn't home. There
There's a
too
lot
many
there that's
loopholes in
not
a
good.
bad
Yeah,
story. Yeah,
yeah.
but the bottom line is, like, yeah, if it doesn't pass the simplest of sniff tests, take steps. I mean, a passphrase is cool
I think
for
that's
your
a great
family,
idea.
but
Yeah.
yeah, at a minimum, hang up and call back, because if the number's spoofed, you know, you're gonna put it to bed right there.
Yep. I like the idea of a passphrase.
Yeah.
Cowboy's
Which
passphrase is
is,
Geronimo, just so everybody knows.
Dr- I mean, that's absolutely, and now everyone knows it. Now it's Geronimo one. Um,
Oh, that's
you know,
funny.
which,
Okay,
and that's different from a safe word, by the way.
that is a different show, and
It's,
that's not our business here at
it's,
all. All right, moving on to our next story. Geofeeds are adversarial, a call for better IP geolocation integrity. A discussion on the NANOG mailing list revealed that geolocation data services, or geofeeds, used by streaming platforms and content delivery networks are being weaponized. Attackers can manipulate geofeed responses to bypass geo restrictions, hijack traffic, or perform targeted phishing attacks. The conversation highlighted the need for tamper evident cross validation with multiple providers and real time monitoring for anomalous feed changes. This matters because misdirected locations can block legitimate users or expose them to malicious traffic. Geofeed manipulation is a low effort attack vector that can compromise large networks. And improperly handling of IP data can violate GDPR and other privacy regulations. So, what can or should you be doing about this, Cowboy? Well, Cowboy, you should be using multiple providers and compare results for consistency to validate your geofeeds. Implement change detection so you can set up alerts for sudden shifts in IP to location mapping. And once again, adopt your zero trust policies, requiring authentication and verification for all traffic, regardless of reported geolocation. I hope you're doing all that, Cowboy.
I'm doing all that and much more, just even in my home. I mean, this is a cool topic, though. It's a little different.
A little different.
Um, I can think back when I was deployed to the Middle East and just got on my VPN, which connected to the States, and boom,
Uh-huh.
I got around the country blockers, right, to watch streaming stuff. Same how you get around Netflix, right, when you
Right.
couldn't share your account out of state or whatever anymore. Like, there's so easy ways to get around that. But yeah, not a lot of talk about how to weaponize that, and that's an interesting play.
Yeah, I mean, well, so any YouTube celebrity has done a VPN commercial, I think, at this point,
Hmm.
where they advertise that feature, right? But the fact that people are thinking about how to weaponize this now, I guess that is a form of weaponization that was just used for commercialization. But to really weaponize it to mess with you is that's novel. That's new. I haven't really heard that before.
Yeah, and I mean, when you when you look at things like why sophisticated attackers do multiple hops through multiple countries, not just to make sure you go through a country that has no extradition treaty and won't share the
Yeah,
data,
yeah,
but also to mask the where the IP is coming from, right? Like, anyone can spot the Russian IP address and block it automatically, right? But if it's a US IP coming from what appears to be maybe a trusted part of their own network or a friendly network, a third party network, right? That's a lot. That there's no way, there's no simple way to detect that,
No.
right? Most things are just going to let it through. Even the smartest of defenses are not going to pick up on that. And so we've seen it in the more kind of the two spectrum ends, like the very sophisticated and you know the the guys and gals deployed forward using the VPN to get around, so they could stream stuff
Right.
while they're deployed. The basic and the advanced, but interested to see if we see it kind of trickle through the full spectrum here in the next year or two.
Yeah, I can imagine, the combo effect. So geofencing, little AI, little um uh voice cloning, like that could get real interesting real quick. Combo and all that stuff together.
Yeah. And how much like does that start adding latency
That's a good
to the
point too. Yeah.
system?
Yeah. Well, I'm
Nobody
sure
wants
we'll find
latency.
out, and when we do, it'll be on this
We-
podcast.
That's right. Stay tuned. Keep
Stay
listening.
tuned. Yeah, keep listening. Okay. Balancing AI innovation and security risk. A CISO's playbook. Tech Target's featured article outlines how CISOs can responsibly integrate AI tools into threat detection, vulnerability analysis, and incident response while mitigating the associated risks. The piece discussed model bias, data privacy, adversarial attacks on machine learning models, and the need for continuous monitoring and governance frameworks tailored to AI workloads. Um, Cowboy, if you weren't aware, there's a rapid adoption of AI, and that's why this is important. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, didn't know that, right? There's also the fact that machine learning models can be exploited. That is a new attack surface if you haven't been paying attention. And there was a small amount of regulatory scrutiny now occurring around AI globally. Just a few small things to be concerned about and why it matters. Um, what you should be doing right now, and I don't see any of the paperwork for the digital SOC, so you really should be doing it for us right now, Cowboy, is establishing an
Hmm.
AI governance model, implementing model audits, and integrate human oversight. Don't just let Jarvis take care of everything for us.
I have done all that. I put it in my TPS report last week. You should have seen it come
Did you
through.
use the 3 different color paper, though, is the question.
uh, Fill this out in triplicate.
In
Um,
triplicate, yes.
I will tell you, through work, we've been talking to a lot of big city CISOs lately, and I gotta say, I am wildly disappointed in a lot of their philosophy and um, ex- poor acceptance of risk for large city CISO to be taking, who just blow off or do not care about even the most basic of standards. And so, this is a cool story because I mean, yeah, with we've seen companies who should know better making questionable decisions, i.e., we're going to replace all the SOC analysts with AI. Like you
Oof.
you got to know better, right? We covered that a couple weeks ago, or right a while
Well, we
back.
covered that
Like
a while back
you,
ago, but yeah, like
yeah,
that's not a good idea.
like
That's not a good
like
idea. Augment, I'm
you
all
know,
for augmenting, right?
sure,
Help the analysts be able to sift through data better and faster. 100%. Sure.
100%. But yeah, and so I don't know. It's weird to see who are supposed to be really smart people who've done this for a long time make questionable decisions around this.
So
So
can I ask you a question? Without
yes,
no specifics, right? Because we don't
mm,
talk about our specifics here on the show,
that's
folks.
right.
That's the we
We're
it's a
fully virtualized here.
yeah, exactly. Do you think that it's a fiscal decision more than it is a decision for like their risk appetite? Do you think that they're making those decisions because of the dollars and cents of what it costs them and the budget they have to work with?
Certainly possible. I didn't see any of the books, so everyone claims to not have enough money, and usually they're right. But there's there's options for everything, right? You don't just have to blow off a major security enhancement. You could get something, right, to start with and build your playbook and build your capability slowly, vice going in like the, well, I can't afford 100 million a year to pay for, this commercial threat intel feed. But you can start
That is a lot,
with
though.
something and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure who's selling it for that much, but commercial intel feeds are expensive. They are expensive.
They are.
And so when they're presented with a cost effective strategy, I don't know why they wouldn't want to jump on that, right? Like cost effective, bring lots of people together. That's just all greatness. But the way they I don't know, just pick and choose and blow off certain things to give you that holistic security picture for, you know, not just critical infrastructure, but all the other stuff that if there's a catastrophic event is going to have a major impact to your city, right? I don't know. It's hard for me to understand because if I'm the CISO, I want to protect everything um, at various levels, but like I know I don't want gaps for sure.
Right.
No gaps. So I don't know. Um, so yeah, you got our listeners could do a quick Google search, CISO playbook AI can probably find a couple articles on how they're looking at this stuff. But yeah, they got to get after it.
Yeah. Interesting perspective though on what's going on in large cities. I'm sure that it's not carte blanche like across the board, but if there's enough of them, we're talking hundreds of million of people at that point, right? Which is a terrible, terrible thing. Like that are just going to be
It is.
put in a vulnerable place. And
It
in our
is.
last story, Red Hat's latest blog has outlined a collaborative approach to vulnerability management that involves vendors, maintainers, and customers. It emphasizes continuous discovery, automated prioritization using risk scoring, and coordinated remediation workflows that leverage the Red Hat Insights platform and the CVE database. The article showcases real world case studies where integrated pipelines reduce mean time to remediation by 30%. That's all good. I mean, I'm not Red Hat platform or not. I mean, that's if they're helping with remediation, like cool, I'm for that. One other thing I did learn recently, which I didn't know, I probably should have, but I was this many digital bits old when I found out, is that the CVE database is uploaded to GitHub every day with deltas, and you can just download the whole thing as current as it is published for free if you didn't know that. So I'm just
I
putting
did
that
not
out
know
there.
that.
Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't know that either until I learned it, and yeah, using that now for things and stuff. Just go with that. Let's see. This matters because it's helping modern infrastructure stacks deal with complexity. It's providing a level of operational efficiency, and it's helping ensure that compliance with regulatory and policy across the board is actually being met, which is all good stuff. Cowboy, thoughts? You all for Red Hat's blueprint?
I mean, this is like the third time in the last couple months we've brought up something really good that Red Hat's doing. So hats off to you, Red Hat. You're welcome for that pun. But keep up the good work. Red Hat Insights was actually renamed Red Hat Lightspeed.
Oh,
So thank you for the nerd inject there.
nice.
And yeah, it's an end-to-end system management tool. It predicts risks across Red Hat only platforms, but it recommends actions and actually tracks costs. So kind of an
That's good. Yeah, I
all-in-one,
like
which
that
is
too.
super
Look,
cool. Yeah.
look, Red Hat only platforms or not, they make up a large chunk of server infrastructure globally.
Hmm.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
percentage is, but Red Hat is the world runs on Linux. I'm
Mhm.
sorry if you don't believe that, and I'm sure there's a couple of large operating system makers out there that would not like to hear that, but even they on their back end are using Linux in their server infrastructure stack. So, um, yeah, the world runs on Linux, and Red Hat's a large part of that, for better or worse, right? So, good things. Good things are good things, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. And an MTTR of 30%. That's a big jump.
I would really I need to dig in a
Mhm.
little bit more and see where they're getting that stat from. But if it's
Mhm.
right, like yeah, that's huge. That's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Cowboy, what else you got for us tonight?
Parting thoughts. Trusting bad geolocation data is like handing attackers a forged passport and saying, "Welcome home." I'm
God.
Cyber Cowboy. Stay frosty.
And on that happy note, once again, our hearts, digital or otherwise, are out to everybody tonight. Hope you all have a great Valentine's Day weekend, whether you're with your betrothed or looking for or just doing it by yourself. I'm the professor of CyberRisk. That's all the news for this week, and we'll talk again soon. If you like this podcast, share it with your colleagues and friends. Your support is how we are able to continue to make this content. Thank you.